All right, and to weigh in on the ANC NEC's meeting and the leadership challenges within the party, we're now joined by leadership expert Professor Mazwe Majola. Prof, always a pleasure to have you here on SABC News. Thank you for being with us this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Flo. Good afternoon to the viewers. Thank you very much.
Let me start with a simple question, really. What do you make of the step-aside rule and how things played out yesterday within the ANC NEC? It does look as though we're witnessing what looks like the beginning of some sort of a faction war. And I wonder how you view all that is happening, particularly with regards to the step-aside rule.
Well, it's a resolution that has been there for about 3 years or so, since 2017 Nazareth conference. So it's a resolution that was supposed to have been implemented a long time ago. But because ANC likes to consult, or ANC's traditionally has this collectivism or collective leadership, which really consists of consultation and talking to people, and doing that, it takes time to implement their own resolutions. So, I mean, if you see how many attempts and how many meetings and subcommittees and task teams have been created just on this resolution. So you can see that it's because they always try to pull everyone together to persuade each other. But there came a time when there was so much pressure within the ANC and even outside of the ANC to implement this resolution. So that is why they had to take this decision, a very unpopular decision, to say this resolution must be implemented, which is a very good thing for the ANC, because ANC has been synonymous with wrong things like corruption, like factionalism, like ill discipline. So at least this resolution is a positive step for the ANC to restore its trust and confidence and credibility and integrity.
Yeah, and you mentioned the word persuade, that they try to persuade each other. If we look at what came out of yesterday, would you say that was some sort of a compromise, or that one side of the faction actually, in fact, blinked? I mean, we saw the fact that it was supposed to be that you step aside within 7 days, and then we hear from the president last night that has been extended to 30 days, and a lot can happen within 30 days. Prof, who blinked yesterday?
So you can see that there was this persuasion that took place. Of course, as there was an enormous fight back from both sides, those who were for this resolution and those who were against the resolution. So it took time for them to reach at least a consensus, as you are saying, Flo, coming from 7 days, that people must step aside within 7 days, and there was a huge a huge outcry. Those people who were quite vociferous from the other side who were against this resolution, to the point where at least they found one another to these 30 days. Not everyone is happy about it, but at least there was something, because the resolution had to be, or a decision had to be taken. So it was a matter of how many days, how we take it. But so all of them, they then accepted. Obvious others, not all of them happy with it. But at the end, at least they tried to find one another.
Yeah, and then of course, why do you think that this is taking such a long time to sort of implement? As you say, you know, this is something that was already part of the ANC's resolutions, but of course, as I've mentioned, and we've spoken about this prior, it's just the issue of the implementation, which is the issue. And I think as a leadership expert, this is where you come in, Prof. How should the president of the ANC then be handling this? Because it does make him look to be in a weaker position if he's not implementing it as it should be implemented. I mean, one wonders what would happen after the 30 days. Would the Secretary General, would Ace Magashule say, all right, the 30 days is up and therefore I step down? One imagines there would be another long drawn out, you know, fight about that too.
Well, yes, you know, ANC always try to be very careful and cautious with its own members, in particular with its own leaders. Whenever it comes to disciplining them and taking unpopular decisions. So they will try to negotiate, to consult, to talk to them. And it's even worse because with this resolution, there were it involved people like the Secretary General of the ANC, which is supported by certain people and even other people in the NEC who are involved. So there are so many people who are supporting those people that they are not going to step aside, and others, they said they must step aside, and so it really was quite controversial and quite complex issue. So they needed to take it and to handle it with care. However, they needed to push because they could not postpone this any longer, so that they could show people that they mean business. Yes, Ramaphosa may be seen or perceived as an indecisive leader, but credit to him, because here really is not his only decision to make. You've got this body that must make a decision collectively. So within the ANC, the president cannot take a decision alone. He must persuade others, and then they must come to a sufficient consensus so that a decision can be or a resolution can be passed and implemented.
All right, Prof. Mazwe Majola, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much for giving us your time as always, sir.